Welcome, Chris Evans Radio. We are back with little Dave. We were ranting and raving. I said, I'm just going to pause this and hit record. Um, if anyone out there has looked at Dave's story, he had a really funny gas station interaction. Dave, I'll get you to share it with the audience, and then we'll just jump back into our conversation.
So I went and grabbed an energy drink, and dude who was also in the gas station doing whatever was like, "Man, dude, you're jacked." And I was just like, "All right, thanks." And he's like, what told me after that was, he's tall, so it's hard to put on muscle. And I looked at it and then said, "Dude, you'd look bigger if you weighed more than 180 pounds."
Yep.
And that was me somewhat being like just blunt, but also like the amount of excuses what come out of like this goes straight forward. So I don't care if you're tall, short, or whatever.
Yep.
Building muscle at some point is going to be hard.
Yes.
It is never just going to happen.
Mhm.
Like the Lee Priest didn't just happen.
No,
You know,
no.
just because he's short, he didn't put on muscle any easier. Just because he's tall, didn't put on money muscle easier. It's just the funniest load of shit.
Yep. And you know, it's what I said to you. Like the people that say that, they heard or read or someone said, "Oh, it's going to be harder for you," and they just believed it. Like as opposed to the mindset of, well, if I start training and actually eating a ton of food, let's see what happens. Like, not all tall people are created equal, right? Like, we've all seen bean poles. Let's take two really tall guys. You take Kevin Durant, high level NBA player, and you take LeBron James, and you put them side by side. They're both within 1 inch of height, but look how much different muscular build that each one of those have. Those are NBA guys. Look at any NFL lineman. I was just saying this to you. Any NFL lineman is going to range anywhere between 6'3" and 6'7". All of them are north of 300 pounds and they're ripping weight on a bench press. But if you ask the normal 6'3" guy who has long arms, who is shaped probably like an offensive tackle, but hasn't maxed his physique out because he hasn't put in the legit effort at the gym or the dinner table, they might be struggling with 185 to 200 pounds on the bench press and saying, oh, you know what? It's just my genetics. Where those guys in the NFL that I just described said, I want to go to the league and make shitloads of money. How can I get as strong and big as possible? They didn't say, oh, well, I'm 6'3". I can't be strong, Dave. I'm going to be terrible at squatting. Squatting's going to be harder for me than a running back at 5'8". Like, no, they just said, go fuck yourself. I'm going to get big and strong. Like,
Yeah. And then when it comes to bodybuilding, if I hear another tall person be like, "Well, my legs don't fill out. I have a lot of leg, but they're just not filled out." It's like, yes, you have more canvas,
yes,
but this the same concept with short people. They didn't just get round and bubbly
right.
on
Yes,
accident.
mhm,
Their legs started the same fucking skinny as yours.
right. Yes. What they don't understand, right, is like we spent the last 7 to 8 years creating your shape. Well, a tall person naturally is going to have wider shoulders, and then your waist can only be so big. So it's like they naturally have shape. They just have to fill it out. Where we had to add muscle to the right spots to create shape. And it's one of those things where it's like everyone has strengths and weaknesses. And if you buy into the fucking mindset of, oh, my parents gave me these genetics, I'm fucked. Eventually, you're going to start believing it. And I always go back to when I have someone who is what I say was like looks malnourished.
Yeah.
They'll tell you they eat a lot. And I know if you've been a long time follower of I think this is the 115th episode you and I have done. There's a difference between eating a lot and eating what you and I do. And it's a skill, it takes years to acquire. And if you're lucky enough to come into bodybuilding with a huge appetite and you have the mental fortitude to not eat little Debbie cakes and pizza, it's gonna, even though it's easier, it's gonna be relentless. And there's gonna be days where you wake up and you say, I don't feel like eating those 6 meals. And if you figure each of those meals has 8 ounces of meat, that's 3 pounds of meat you have to get down. That's not easy for 6 months on end. And that to me is what separates people who walk around looking ridiculously big and the people who walk around giving excuses like you heard today, right? Like it's always the must be nice. Yeah, you're right. This took 7 fucking years, 8 years, 10 years to build. Yeah, good luck. For anyone to do something consistently for 10 years is an almost impossible ask.
Yeah.
So it's, and then you go down the rabbit hole of, oh, well, you know, I have these predispositions, or my knees hurt, or, fill in whatever excuse you can have. Like when I tore my erector in my early 20s, I could easily just threw my hands up in the air and be like, you know what, man, I'm just gonna live a life of just being healthy and normal.
Yeah.
Or I can say, you know what? I'm just going to find ways to work around this injury. And even though I can't be ripping barbell rows and deadlifts and T-bar rows like I used to, it's okay. Like we can still do hard things. It's just in a parallel universe, so to speak, to find ways to work around injuries. Or again, who knows if part of that was genetic? Who knows if like it was just happenstance? Like, or again, I always go back to like it happened for a reason, so I had to learn how to grow it back without the ability to use all the basics so that I can teach it to others who don't grow off the basics. So again, glass half full, glass half empty. That's your choice.
Yeah. So true. I mean, and versus, you could definitely use it as an excuse and be that cranky old man at the gym who, every time you talk to him, he's like, well, if I didn't hurt my back when I was 20, I would have been a Mr. Olympia. It's like, would you?
Right.
Was it just that one singular thing, or have you not been on, did you even follow a diet before that happened?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I had a guy, he's around our age, in the gym on Friday. He said, man, like you just really hit a growth spurt. Like, what do you attribute that to? And I was like, man, I really believe in my heart. It's just every year I've gotten better at this. And he's like, well, what does that mean? And I was like, every year I just get better at lifting weights and finding ways to stay on my plan for consecutive days without fail. Like, and I know that's like not, it's not a sexy answer by any means. Um, but that's what's always worked for me. I know it's what's always worked for you. Like, and I think everyone's searching because then the next question led into, well, are you on any of these new peptides? And I joked him, I was like, have you ever tried the peptide SERO? And he's like, no, what's that? I was like, Serostim?
The original peptide.
The original. Yes. Eventually, I'm going to say that on a big time podcast and just hopefully get a laugh out of it, or maybe it'll go over other people's head. I don't know. But they'll be searching for the peptide SERO. Um, because I really believe like this current like landscape of social media, they think that Mott C is going to give them all the answers. And I'm like, you can fill in the blank with whatever fucking 3 to 4 digits and numbers you can lay out on the table. Like, yes, they may help, but in the grand scheme of life, like what you and I bang on with the basics is far superior to any microgram that you inject into your fucking bicep.
Yeah. Well, fuck, dude. The thing that makes me laugh is like, at least on like the social media side of the peptides shit, is like, well, I saw one guy's post was like, what I would do if my client came to me with insulin resistance.
Okay.
And it was a couple lifestyle things,
Yeah.
but it was a list of five fucking peptides.
Right.
And like, I hate to be an asshole, but like fixing insulin resistance in a human, like, do you really think they're going to take five fucking peptides a day? The guy who already doesn't eat his meals like he should,
Yes.
like, he dug himself a hole already. Like, he has some fucking bad habits.
Yes.
Him or her,
Right.
right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
The my mind tells me it's like, all right, cool. Why don't we just put him on a structured plan
Yeah.
and go from there? That's going to be
Yeah.
step one. Like, and if he's able to do that, I can bet you we can pull him out of insulin resistance pretty easily.
Yes. Yes. Yep. You know,
Without having to, the laundry list of peptides, by the way, if there's five of them, let's say they're all $50 a bottle,
right.
that's $250 for, let's call that a month.
Right.
Is that dude really gonna spend, what is that? Almost 3 grand
That's a
just
thousand
on
dollars a
fucking,
quarter.
yeah,
Yeah.
3 grand on peptides just in a year
Right.
to be fucking normal.
Right. Yeah.
Like the problem we're solving isn't even a big fucking problem.
No.
Like that happens from eating like a normal human.
Yes.
Like,
Yep.
all right, cool. Let's backtrack a little bit. Let's, you know, figure out why you're inflamed. Figure out why your carbs aren't working for you. Probably because you've been eating a fuck ton of them,
Right. Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And go from there. But like, it just blows my mind when people are like, peptide, peptide, peptide. It's like, do you wake up? Do you have anything structured right? Are you drinking your water for the day?
Yes.
You
Right.
know, like if you're not nailing the basic shit, how do you think someone's gonna throw in, you know? And then second off, like, that you really think someone's gonna stab themselves multiple times a day with an insulin needle?
Yes. Right. Yeah. And of those five, six, seven, eight, whatever it was, how do you know which one's working? Right? Like that's what I always go kind of go back to. It's like it's the young kid who's never used gear, but he starts on a huge elaborate cycle. And you and I've said many times, like, how would you just start with some tests, bro? Like,
Yeah,
let's see how your body responds to that. Like, you talk about insulin resistance, and I feel like that's insert fancy peptides to fix it. And I'm like, okay, let's look at the name of the problem. Insulin resistant. Okay. So that means you've had an influx of it and your body can't process it all properly. So logically, what you just reduce insulin, meaning your carbohydrates. Like, whoa. Okay. We want to do things that drive your blood sugar down. Hard training, regular cardiovascular activity, whether it be hit or moderate intensity or low intensity. Weird. Those three things are all going to help fix that. But Chris, I want to, and the problem is, I know what they say. It's like, yeah, but they're on a cycle of binge and purge, right? Yes, I know. I've helped countless people out of this. Guess what that is? That is this. There is no fucking peptide on the planet that's going to prevent you from going in there and smashing a box of donuts because you mentally think you need it, or you're
yeah,
weak, or stress hits, or you're sad, or you're happy. Whatever triggers you to eat garbage in abundance, that is playing into your insulin resistance. Okay. Well, there's no injection or no magic protocol that's going to fix that. It's only right here. And I think that eludes a lot of individuals is like, I think they hear you say something like, I know you've said countless times, the reason you follow a plan is because you want to fix your body to create what you want on stage to get you to the goals you need. The moment you can pair that with the end result to the actions that lead to it, that's the secret, man. Like there's no fucking secret sauce. Like uh, it just isn't.
yeah.
So,
That's the harsh reality right there too.
yeah.
You know, like, and like that. Those are the honest conversations you have to have with like of how you got to that place you're at.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, like that one's always a fun conversation because like most people, if their goal is like weight loss, it's like, cool, how did this happen? They're like, it happened over 5 years. It's
Yes.
like, cool, and your goal is to get it off in 2 months.
Good luck.
You know, like that's the, like that same conversation,
Yeah. Yep.
and that shit goes right over people's minds and they think there's some kind of loophole. Like, do I think peptides are the answer for everything? Absolutely not. Do I think they're cool? Fuck yeah.
Right.
Like, if like I have nothing against people making better ways to do things, but
Right.
sometimes the better ways to do things aren't. Like we all know. Take your fucking current truck selections now. The EPA like fucking loves diesel trucks.
Right. Yep.
Everybody wants one from the 90s because it doesn't have emission control. You
Right.
know,
Yes.
like that's what it's the same fucking. It's a new device. It made things better. Did it? I'm not saying that's a totally different rant, but like,
Right. Yeah.
the new doesn't always mean better.
Correct. Yes.
That new and flashy thing, just because it's new and flashy doesn't mean it's getting better.
Correct. And fun fact, just because the dude who you look up to and idolize on Instagram is preaching these peptides, how long has he been taking them? And how much is he getting paid to tell you to take them? Two questions that I would ask. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
That one's always huge to me because it's just like like the Nick Walker. preaching what he loves, retatrutide. It's like, I wonder how often he actually takes that, if he does, and we all know he did not use that a year ago.
Correct.
He did not use that to become a Mr. In the Olympia. He did not use that to win his pro card. He did not use that to win his first regional show, you know. And people who have never competed before are like, "This is what I need for right now." It's
And,
like, do you?
this isn't me talking shit on him. These are his actual words. He feels like this year was not his best look ever. Okay. You changed coaches, you changed some of your philosophies, but then you also inserted that group of peptides. Coincidence? Potentially. He always wants to get back to that Arnold win look, right?
Yeah,
In that season where he finished third in Olympia. Okay, cool. Like maybe try doing the stuff that worked then. But then on the same side, like you and I will both say, maybe your body's just different now. Or it's like, what did you introduce that you didn't need? Because as I've said 1,000 times, more is better unless it's not. Like, in what world? I've never seen him fat in the last 5 years or any time as a pro. Why would you want to do something that slows your digestion down? Like, not to go on a GLP rant. Sorry, we do this all the time, but just I need people to think about this. When has he ever been fat? When has he never not been in really good condition all season or on stage? Why would you want to introduce that? Why? Why? To take hunger pain away? Bro, it's not that bad. Stop it.
well, at that point, I doubt he's really even feeling hunger pain. It's probably the opposite.
Right. Yeah.
That's I think most people don't understand that, but like the open bodybuilders, they're probably hungry from 4 weeks to show date,
Well, yes.
and
Agreed.
that's the entirety of the year
Yes. Yep.
they've been hungry.
And
They're not the bikini pros who never get more than 2,500 calories in a year.
right.
There
Yeah.
is no point in their entire off season they're eating more than 3,000 calories a day.
Right. Yeah.
They just can't put on more tissue than that.
Right. Correct. Yes.
They're not that they've already have the tissue they have, and
Yes.
that's in anyway, that's probably where I would see that being useful
Yeah.
in that case. But like the difference between a bikini pro and an open bodybuilder is what, like 120 pounds of muscle?
At least. Yep. Yep. And that leads us into the topic after we finished a podcast 3 weeks ago. You had this topic and I wrote it down. I'm going to read it word for word so I don't mess it up. As you said, you want to talk about the mindset of what I can change versus what I can take. And it's exactly what we were just talking about.
Yeah,
Like, it's that accountability mirror of what can I fix in the structure of my day, my program, my training, my nutrition to better myself instantly, as opposed to searching for some new magic sorcerer plan that honestly I think just muddies the water of what works and what doesn't.
super true. And that goes to a lot of things like in prep in the off season. I mean, we have people in the off season. I mean, that's pretty common in the off season for bodybuilders to take like megastrol acetate,
Yeah.
which is an appetite and increase. Like they give it to increase appetite in people, but it's also progesterone,
Yes.
right? So like pros and cons. You
Yes.
know, is this going to help me gain body fat? Absolutely.
Yep.
Will I eat my food? Absolutely. Does it change the compound of the? There's pros and cons to everything. Nothing's a free ride.
Right.
So,
Yes.
and shit like that is the reason why we have a lot of problems in bodybuilding, you
Yep.
know? And the shit what just came out with the PMMA and people in the open. Like
Yes.
technically is it illegal? No.
Right.
But obviously their careers are going to be shortened, but
Yeah.
I really don't want to be the retired bodybuilder what has the inability to go to the gym now because my quads or my arms have plastic in them,
Right. Yes. Yep. Yep.
you
And
know?
because I think a lot of this current generation doesn't know the fascination with synthol because they only see blown out, extraordinary versions where the dudes just look like an oily mess. But, when you and I got into bodybuilding, synthol was very much a thing. Like it was normal for most guys to talk about using pump and pose and shooting 3 cc's in their arms and their quad sweep and their lats. And that's a thing of the past now because of the long-term potential change to the physique, like not being good.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, no shit injecting 3 cc's of oil on each side of your arm 3 times a week, 5 times a week, 7 times a week. Yeah, that's going to be fucking horrible for the muscle. Shocker. No one had, listen, I never even considered using Zenthal. And then when John told me some horror stories, I was like, no, there's no, not doing it, not doing it. And I mean, and God knows I've been accused of it on the internet multiple times.
Yeah, that's always a good feeling. The I always laugh about that too. I had someone ask me, and I was like, dude, would my arms be? I feel like I'd probably be bigger than 20 inches.
Right? Yeah, yes.
Like, I'm not the person to go just do a little bit of anything.
Correct. Yep.
Like, I'd be that fucking synthol dude on the that's from Brazil. If I was doing synthol, you would know,
Right, right, yes.
you
Yeah,
know.
right.
And I'm just well, that's exactly right. It's one of the things I'm really happy I never did because like I know if I did that in my 20s, I'd be having complications right now.
Correct. Yeah,
And would I be able to improve like let's say I put fuck ton of oil in my rear delts, and now training rear delts, it sucks.
yeah,
It's like, you think it's going to continue being a weakness
yeah.
when it's a weak point and it's injured?
Correct.
Like good fucking luck.
Yeah,
Versus like, yeah, well, my rear delts were a weak point for a while, but then guess what? Now they're not
yeah, yeah,
because I did it the right way,
yes.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that took smart and diligent programming on my end, and then you taking those workouts and making them efficient. Because it's
Yeah.
been easy for you to take those sessions and go in there and just move weight and get your traps bigger, you know? But instead, you're like, you know what? I got to figure out how to make my shoulders work perfectly. And then now I'm going to get strong at it and I'm going to fight pain tolerance and I'm going to dig in when most people would sit weights down. I'm going to do 6 to 10 more. And that's why that muscle is now blown out and it looks crazy in the all season, on cycle, off cycle. It's never small. And again, it goes back to we could have taken shortcuts. Um, I could have ran your test at 2 grams and said, fuck it. Why? Why call on that when I don't need it yet? Like
Yeah.
always been my philosophy with you or anybody I've ever worked with. Like it, we don't have to blow everything out. Like let's just be steady and progressive with it and find ways to work around just the easy thing that everyone can do. Because everyone can ram more oil or more drugs. Like that's not a complicated process.
No, no, it's not. But and then it comes down to all those little things and like the mindset behind it of like, oh man, I'm going to take some BPC because my shoulder hurts. It's like, what have you done to fix your shoulder? Fucking nothing. Like that shit is the most annoying part in bodybuilding is like, cool, what's your plan to move up to heavyweight bodybuilding? Oh, I'm going to take more drugs.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, you're not going to try to eat more food and learn how to train heavier or have a longer off season or diet more effectively or just more time and more effort.
Right. Yes. Yes.
And that's what so many people see, and that's why it's like hilarious when it comes to, we got people who are like, they laugh about people being like, oh man, it's all drugs, but then they do the same thing,
Right.
you know and I'm not saying you can build a great physique with just drugs, but if all you're willing to do is you get to a point in your life where you're like, I can't train harder, and that is what you tell yourself,
Yeah.
or I can't do more for this, and the only way for me to improve is to take drugs,
Yeah.
you're already fucking lost.
Agreed. Yep.
Because that point of, I mean, the point where you can improve from drugs is like that, that 0 to 100 is, if it was a stat in a video game, would be like this fucking big.
Right. Yes.
Versus like being able to, your training, how much you can learn and grow from training
Mhm.
is a really fucking giant stat. Like you could break down like I promise, like that makes me laugh because like the things I don't do what I know I should be doing, right? Like I got ankle mobility things I could be doing, what would benefit me greatly. I
Right,
got hip mobility things what I could be doing more. I got more shoulder shit I could be doing
right. Yep.
on the just mobility side of things.
Right.
And that's not even touching training,
Yes.
you know? And like it could be simple fucking shit like what has an upstream effect. Like I'm not trying to overcomplicate bodybuilding. That's like, why I haven't done it yet because I'm still making progress without.
Right. Yep.
But I know what if like, all right, cool, my knees start hurting, ankles, hips, right? It's not just my fucking knee.
Correct.
It's not like, oh, my knees hurt. I'm gonna go throw some BPC in it. All right, cool. I have all these fucking things. What I could be working on.
Right. Yes. I think what people miss, and I'm going to try to give a perfect example of when you take a natural, untrained individual and you introduce them to the weight room that first year of growth. Okay. That's all you experience the first time you use steroids. Okay. You just get that again. It's just another shot of it. Then I think when you go like up maybe the next tier of you adding growth hormone and insulin, you get almost the same effect. You get a bump up a substantial amount. But outside of that, it's all incremental as you talked about. Like it isn't like, oh, well, when I added EQ in, I jumped another 20 pounds. No, no. Your first cycle, you make a big jump. And then it's kind of like stagnant until you go up a tier, and then you make another little bit of a good jump, not a great jump. And it's like just here. But what you'll find a lot of times for the guys who are successful at this long term is they pair those jumps in gear with what we talked about at the beginning of this, finding ways to be better at bodybuilding. Like, oh, now I can say more locked in on my diet and meal plan year round, not just pre-contest. Oh, I found my style of training that works for me and my body as well as my brain. Awesome. Now I'm getting more muscle tissue activation because I'm having fun in the gym and I'm training my body in the right rep range with the right group of exercise selection. And the next thing you know, it's like this synergistic effect of like, I'm doing all these things well. And now I'm like literally refining this physique and adding 5 to 10 pounds of stage weight every year, every other year. And you look drastically different every time you step on stage. Like, that's what people miss. They think it's just like shot, instant, done. It's game over. It's just linear progress. And as you and I both know from looking at lots of people's check-ins, questionnaires, applications, man, there's a lot of dudes that look like a bag of shit on a ton of drugs. And they can't answer, they don't have no clue why they aren't growing. Pick me. Let me show you how to train and follow me for one day of eating. You'll quickly realize you're leaving a lot on the table.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, I'll pivot a little bit into staying on topic, but something that I think gets abused oftentimes is Clin T3, right? When you reverse engineer that and think backwards, okay, why do you need a lot of Clin T3? You have to get a lot of fat off. Why do you have a lot of fat on you? Because you got fat in the all season. Okay, why'd you get fat in the all season? Too many cheat meals, no scale, zero structure. Okay, now let's just rework that. What if you had a really good off season and where you stayed tight but ate all clean food with 1 to 2 free meals a week? Okay, do you think you need as much Clin T3, if any, come prep time? Probably not. And then you think about the compounding effect of people like, oh, bodybuilding kills people. Well, no, you got fat in the off season where your health markers were shit. And then you said, oh, now I'm going to diet really hard, but I'm going to pair that with a bunch of fat burners and caffeine. And I wonder why my health is in the trash.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah, see how that works there? Like what we could have fixed with what in my mind is like adherence, structure, plan, nutrition, you had to mask with Clin and T3 to get in shape to get the desirable end result. Where what if we just cut all that bullshit in half or a third and kept a tighter off season? Or did a shorter duration off season, however you want to look at that. It's a way to again back out of what can I change versus what can I take. And I mean, not everyone's Lee Priest and can go from like fat to pretty damn shredded, you know, without doing something extreme.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was also I think the most part people miss with him being fat to being shredded was him following a diet
Yeah.
and doing 2 hours of Stairmaster a day.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
on
Yep.
top of training multiple times a day.
Right. Yes. Yep.
Like it's common, and that's like the fun thing. What gets me is like when people are like, "Oh, again," it's like they look at his genetics, and yeah, he had fucking great genetics.
Yeah.
But the amount of people I know who are willing to get on a stairmaster for 2 hours, even just the last 3 weeks of prep.
Yeah.
This guy said he started out of the gate at an hour.
Right.
So his 15 weeks out was an hour on the stairs. Plus two training sessions a day, plus zero cheat meals,
Yes.
zero cheat meals.
Right. Yep.
Like he said that,
Yes. Yep.
and that doesn't mean he had one free meal a week. No, he had fucking none.
Yes. I,
And they want to do the same thing, but they also want the free meal a week, and they don't want to do fucking stairmaster.
yes. Listen,
Well, no shit.
coming from someone who's done 2 hours of stairs a day, it's not only is it physically hard, it's mentally hard to wrap your mind around being on that thing for 2 hours a day. That is a twelfth of your day. If you're just doing straight math on it. So a twelfth of my day, I'm literally on the stairs, just one, two, one, two. And like I was doing that at the time before iPads. Like I had an iPod Shuffle and I listened to the same fucking shit over and over and over again and just get through that once in the AM, once in the PM. It was hell. But it's like every time I climbed on top of there, I was like, I'm doing this for a reason. Like there's a purpose. I'm gonna do it. And it's that that to me is what bodybuilding's about is
Hmm.
everything up here says, hey, you could probably do a level 5 today. Now you don't have to do level 7 or 8. Or, oh, no one's gonna know if you get off at 46 minutes. I will. Like, I, I will know. And yeah, it's what you just said there is huge, right? Like most people can't envision 2 hours of stairs, but then think about training twice a day. On top of that, now I know he was just a professional bodybuilder. I don't care if that's all you did for a living. I would love to see how many people, if they got followed around with a camera crew, could do that for 10 weeks, 6 days a week, and then have one
Hmm.
off day. Or fuck, even that routine that Justin Compton told us on that podcast. How many people could do that for a prep and not miss? And I've always there's a science experiment I wanted to run, and I would still to this day love to do it. Like, if you offered someone $1 million to not miss one meal off of their meal plan for a whole year, how many people would get that million? And I mean every meal to the gram. There's no excuse. It isn't, oh, my dog ate it, my wife's in the hospital, she had a baby. Like, there's no excuse. You either ate every gram of food that was on your meal plan for that day and then for every day of the year, or you didn't. And the moment you missed 1 gram, game over. You're out of the running. How many people would say they would do that in a heartbeat, but how many people would actually do it on day 206, you know?
Hmm.
I'd be willing to bet you most people wouldn't make it through a week. Like you would lose probably 50% of the population just in the first week. I would
Yeah.
assume. Because everyone's going to start motivated day one, right?
Hmm.
I got this. This is easy. And then it's like by day three, you're like, man, I have 363 more days of this.
Hmm.
Yeah, you do. Strap in, motherfucker.
And it really does, put some perspective on that because I mean, like we've seen it, we've probably encountered, we've probably done it, but like how many times you go to the kitchen, you're like, you open the kitchen, you're like, fuck, I really should have made chicken,
Right. Yes.
you
Yes.
know?
Yep.
And just like not the preparedness of following a meal plan isn't just isn't just following a meal plan.
Right.
It's the being able to plan ahead, prepare
Mhm.
for it,
Yes.
and get it done. Like I know I'm flying to Texas tomorrow, and so for that means for me to follow my meal plan, I need to have meals 1 through 6 packed and put in a bag so I can have them with me.
Right.
And then when I land in Texas, I'm going to a grocery store and buying the food for the rest of the week
Right.
so
Yes.
that I have it on hand and make I can eat it.
Correct.
So that I know I need to have a store near me, and then on top of that, I'm staying at a place that has the ability to do so. planning.
Yeah.
And that is the one thing with what well, having a meal plan is great and all, but the skills required to handle said meal plan are what are never talked about.
No, no, but
Eating the food's fucking basic. We all know how to do that,
yep,
you know. And I mean, you get into bigger, me and Chris's meals. Obviously, that's a skill, but we knew how to eat food from day one.
right. Yes.
You
Yes.
know, like it would. That's just how humans work. But
Right.
to have that food available at all times, in the times we need to have it,
Right.
and be able to follow that plan doesn't just come from having the meal plan. It comes from the actions I do to make that happen.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, I laugh about it all the time in the off season. I can't wake up after 7 a.m.
No, no, I'm bit.
If I do, I am fucked trying to get my food in.
Absolutely. Yep. I'll give you a perfect example. It was Sunday night, and I'd passed out on the couch, like mouth open, snoring probably. And Angela shook me, and she's like, "Hey, we're gonna go to bed. You haven't eaten your last meal." And that's something she's done for me periodically throughout our entire life together. Is she knows how many meals I've had, and if I haven't hit my last meal, she's gonna wake my ass up because I've asked her to. And there's like a 2 minute window there where you're in like groggy sleep state of like, fuck it, I'm just gonna stay asleep. And then like the other side of my brain is like, get up, asshole. This meal counts. Find a way to do it. And then I don't know how long it actually is in real time, but in your mind, it's like a good versus evil, or at least it is for me.
Yeah,
And then once I'm up and in the kitchen and making it, I give zero fucks. But that minute or two, that however long it is me laying on that couch deciding whether I'm going to skip it or I'm going to get up and make it, feels like a much heavier decision where I know so many people would just blow it off and be like, fuck that shit, it's not worth it. But it is worth it. And luckily, I'm capable enough to get up, make my food, which doesn't take that long, and then I can go back to I'm back asleep in probably 30 minutes.
yeah,
And then I can wake up the next day and not have that weight of, man, you missed a meal last night and you accepted it. And it wasn't because you slept. Your wife woke you up and you chose not to. That's on me. I can blame no one else. That's
yeah,
not genetics. That's not drugs. That's not the competition was better than me. Like that is, I made an active choice in that minute that I'm not going to eat that food that I know I need to get in me. So,
yeah. And to be blunt, that's 90% of the reasons why people miss on their meal plan.
yes,
You
yes,
know, the no one made you put that food in your mouth off your plan.
right.
And the ones I get what always makes sense. I always get lost on like the ones where it's like I I just missed a meal. It's like what the fuck happened? Like was it the last meal of the day? If it's like meal three on a Tuesday, what happened?
Right. Yes.
You
Yes.
know, like
Right.
that one I don't think I will ever understand. Like did you get your meal stolen from you?
Right.
Did
Yeah.
like how did you not like did you not and how do you not eat anything in place of it?
Correct.
You
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
because if someone takes my 1 o'clock meal, what I just ate prior to this podcast, I'm sure shit gonna be hungry.
Oh, yes. Without
There's no
a
way I'm making it to my four, to
doubt.
my next meal at four-ish.
Right. Yes. Yes. Yeah. And, going down that rabbit hole of excuses, right? Well, Chris, I had a sweet tooth, so I ate three Snickers bars. Bro, there are so many things in this current bodybuilding world that taste sweet and delicious that still you can hit your meal plan on. Like, I will bang this till I'm blue in the face. Like a Ninja Creamy, Whey Drip, chocolate rice cakes, any bowl of Gaines flavor. Like, you don't have an excuse, man. Like, and if you learn how to cook, dear God, like, I don't care if you told me you had a sweet tooth and every meal before bed you have 100 grams of carbs and all came from fruit. I'm like, okay, that's not how I would do it, but by all means, if that what keeps you on plan, do it. Like if you give me brownie batter, bowl of Gaines, banana, and almond butter, it tastes like a damn dessert to me. And I know people might say, "Oh, Chris, you're crazy." That's not the truth. Well, I think that's definitely better than if I'm in terms of sweet tooth craving killing, than if I'm going to eat beef and rice. That's savory. I'm accomplishing the same goal. And then on the other side of that, like if you're looking for an endorphin release, then that's on you, homie. Like,
Yeah,
uh, wait till your free meal and then have sweets out like is have a dessert or two. Like I don't know. There has to come a reality moment where you choose sweet tooth craving killing or your goals because most people can't do both if you're refusing to do all the things that I just talked about. Like, how in the hell can you not eat chocolate rice cakes with almond butter or peanut butter on them and think that doesn't taste delicious? Like, that's gonna cure a sweet tooth. I notice I didn't say Quest bar, by the way.
yeah, some actual food, or even just like like people freak out about that, but like the realization what like your off season means you're not dieting,
Yeah, yes, I know.
and the like, all right, cool. You really can't figure out a way to make your food taste good.
Yeah.
Like my breakfast has been French toast for fucking years.
Right, right.
Like it's because I like it. It tastes good. It's
Yes,
really easy to make fucking delicious. It doesn't even feel like that meal does not feel like bodybuilding food.
correct.
I'm not sitting there with beef and rice.
You're right.
Like
Yes.
I legitly throw um it has fucking maple syrup on it. You know?
Right.
Like
Yes.
how do I make that more blunt?
You're right. Yeah. Every day since my show was over, I've had waffles for breakfast for the most
Yeah.
part. Like, there's been a couple days where I made like a really fancy omelet because that's just what I was craving. But like, you can't tell me you can't make those Bowl of Gaines waffles. Like, dear God, like you said the French toast. For a long time into my training career, I'd have a protein shake and Ezekiel bread, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Delicious. Like, not only is it easy to eat, easy to make, but it's like, man, it tastes delicious. Like, it's just good. And my carbs got really high, I would do two to four slices of Ezekiel bread, 100 grams of banana, honey, and almond butter or peanut butter. Okay, that's just cheating at this point, right?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, for fuck's sake, you and I have a lot of times have Rice Krispie treats on our plan. I've had cereal on our plans countless times. Like, I just, if there's a will, there's a way, man. Like, there's gonna have to come a time where you just say, I don't want to achieve my goals as much as it comes out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And then everything becomes crystal clear.
Yeah. It's pretty it's yeah, that's exact you couldn't be more accurate with that statement.
Yeah. Yep.
None of this is difficult if you know what direction you're headed in and you have a reason for it.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
there are people who I don't understand how people run ultra marathons. They got, 100-mile deep runs. They do it for a fucking week.
Right.
They hospitalize themselves with fucking, foot injuries, like just from wear and tear,
Yes.
and they
Yep.
love it.
Right.
I understand that? No, but at the same time, I have the same fucking things I do. Like
Right.
there's a
Yes.
reason why I'm eating, a meal at 10 a.m.
Right.
Like that's not normal for 90% of the fucking population.
No.
Fuck 90% of the population even eat breakfast,
Right.
and doing those things, it's really fucking easy to make it happen because it's like, all right, cool, I've got a goal in mind. And you break down that goal into smaller parts, and this is part of that goal.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then it's on me to make that food match my goal.
Yes.
If I
Right.
can't stump, like, oh man, I can't do egg whites. Can I do egg whites if I make it in the French toast? Of fucking course I can.
Yes. Yes. You know, on one day, I messaged you and I was like, I wanted to create a leg workout for myself that just made me nervous again. And so I had this idea of I'm gonna do my leg curls, I'm gonna do adductor, I'm gonna do the John Meadows leg extension warm up, and then I'm gonna do 10 sets of 15 with 8 plates on the leg press with 90-second rest periods. And I don't know how you are when you're doing that many sets. Like I at this gym I was at, I couldn't take chalk and write it on the floor like I would do if I was at Elite.
Yeah,
So on my phone in the notes section, I just had it pulled up. So it was like the notes section was here, and then my stopwatch was running at the very top of the phone. And every time I do a set, I just put like one and then two and then three. I was at about like set six. I was like, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do four more of these. Like in my brain. And then it's like, okay, erase planning ahead. Just see if you can get seven sets of 15. Okay, cool, got it. Done. Seven, clicked. Okay, 90-second rest. Okay, eight, done. Fuck, only got two more. Nine, hard as hell. Okay, all I have is 15 reps left. 15, do them. Meanwhile, after I finished the 10th set, I was sitting over on like the windowsill at this gym, just controlling my breathing. One of the guys who I'm friends with in there, he's like, how many sets of leg press did you do? And I was like, well, if you count the two feeders, I did 12. And he was like, only you, man, and just walks away.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what's really sad about that is erase how much weight of eight plates. Like, let's say for you, that's five or four or three or two, even two. I don't care. It's just having the mental fortitude to stay locked in for those 10 sets with 9-second rest periods and not walk away from it and be like, I'm good. That was good. Like, I don't think that brain power is appreciated nearly enough. Um, because listen, we all know like my quads are good for my body. I could have probably rationalized eight sets or six sets or four, but
Yeah,
I had written down I'm going to do 10, damn it. And that's what I accomplished. And I walked away from that knowing, hell yeah. Like, and I feel like when we do things like that, that test you mentally, in between each set of 90 seconds is a lot of time to play head games with yourself. When you every time you accomplish that, it just reinforces for me that I'm way more comparable, like I can accomplish way more things than my brain wants to allow.
yeah,
And that gives me ease. Like that eases my mind and gives me confidence to do other hard things in life. Like I'll always say what you and I do with meals and training is beyond transferable because if we can will ourselves into doing things that aren't easy and not comfortable, life is going to be cake.
yeah,
And I believe that.
yeah. And the little thing it's that's so true. Like it's being able to do those things what you don't want to do and planning for them.
Yes. Yep.
Like you didn't just do that 10 sets in the gym because you put it down on paper.
Right. Yes.
You said, I
Yep.
am doing this today and we're doing it.
Right. Yes.
And you held yourself accountable.
Yes.
And
Yep.
those are the three biggest things in bodybuilding,
Right. Yes.
and those are not easy things to do. That's why bodybuilding is difficult.
Yes.
No one wants to hold themselves accountable these days. That's the hardest thing on the fucking planet to do.
Yes. Yep.
They don't want to say, I'm not here because of myself.
Yeah.
Like I just said in the fucking beginning of this podcast, the accountability in bodybuilding is so rare. And that's why, well, having a coach is awesome. Having someone to hold you accountable,
Right.
because in the reality, the coach is is helping you towards your goals. He's not being an asshole,
No.
and if, they're just, that's how that works.
You're right. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I think we'll finish here is when you're getting coached, I've always felt like you have to have the right mentality of it's a mixture of you respect that person first and foremost. Because if you don't, it's going to be impossible to do things that where a coin could be flipped of, a high day versus a base day, or, adding a second leg day versus adding a second back day. Like when there's a coin flip, if you don't respect that coach, you will always find ways to pick holes in the plan. If you're picking holes in the plan, I think it's never going to work no matter how great it is. Then on the other tier of that, there has to be that same level of respect for yourself. And you're like, as what you just said, I'm paying money out of my pocket to a coach who I respect. I need to show that same level of dedication that I promised him in the goal section. Because to me, when you write in the questionnaire what your goals are, or after you get off stage, you tell me what your goals are, and I put that at the top of your spreadsheet, that's what everything that I create is geared towards that. And there's a reason it's in red and at the top of all my plans. I'm a slave to that shit. Not what your brain says, not what your mouth says. If you tell me I'm going to be Mr. Olympia, I'm going to treat you like that, even though I may think in the time, I don't know if he has the genetics for that. But if that's what you want and you tell me wholeheartedly, that's what I'm hiring you for, Chris, awesome. But I'm going to hold you to that bullshit. And when I say, hey, like it's Christmas, you need to eat 5 out of your 6 meals. And you're like, well, but Chris, you told me you wanted to be Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's
We,
not us being assholes. It's just holding the amount of times I've had that conversation. Got
right.
the person in prep. They're like, hey, my anniversary is today. I'm 2 weeks out. It's like, bring a Tupperware.
Correct.
Take your wife on a fucking date.
Yep.
Eat out of Tupperware.
Yep.
You know, that is you don't need to have a cheesecake for your anniversary.
Nope.
You know, the and that's because of their goals.
Right.
If I, we a bunch of clients, like if I have a guy who's just like, man, I want to get beach ready, and he's like, also, he's like, I'm 2 weeks away from the beach, but it's my anniversary. I'd be like, fuck yeah, dude, fucking take it.
Correct.
Do extra cardio that night. Have
Yep.
fun with it. You know, and if you didn't get that joke, that went way over everybody's head, right? um, but it comes back to that original goal. It's like, is that going to affect him on the beach? Fuck no, it won't.
No.
You
No.
know, and it would affect Mr. Olympia's.
Correct. Yes. Agreed. My first 3 show seasons, I did all fall, like late fall shows. My birthday's in October. Didn't matter.
Yeah,
Like, if, and at the time I was doing my own nutrition and I wasn't doing free meals, those first 2 rounds, like, I just didn't have a free meal. Like, and Angela and I ate at home and we ate my meal and we still celebrated my birthday and she still gave me presents. I just grilled my chicken or, fill in the blank. Like, if she was making dinner for us, she knew it was on my meal plan, and she's like, "Okay, cool. Like, I'll make that meal and I'll prepare it for you." Awesome. Hell yeah. Like, there was one year I think she put a candle in a piece of chicken for me and I blew it out. Like, she understood, she got it. She knew, like, hey, it's a Thursday. He has, back tomorrow. Like, it's not going to be birthday cakes and ice cream. Why can we not still celebrate my birthday? We certainly can. Like, I think it's, again, I made an active decision to choose this. No, no one forces me to, which is
Mhm.
why I think a lot of times people struggle in this is they're like, well, I have to compete. No, you don't. Like, you and I could look pretty damn incredible for like Instagram and be like 80% bodybuilders in my mind, right? Like, we could take freaky photos in the 3 to 6 week out mark, and most people are like, oh my God, you guys are shredded. But you and I both know, like, we have a ways to go if we want to, do well. But that's not what you and I signed up for. We aren't trying
Yeah.
to be influencers. Like, when
Yeah, and
we,
I mean the other side of the coin is like both of us take our off season seriously.
yeah, yeah,
Does that mean I'm not super fucking pretty? I'm not gonna like I might have, a little bit blurry abs. Like it's
right,
pretty hard for me to get fucking fat at this point, but I'm not gonna be fucking pretty,
no, no,
And that's because I'm actually having an off season.
yes,
That one's actually funny. It's just because like I've had that conversation with people who like I add food and they're like, man, I don't want to get fat. And I'm like, that you want to your goal here says you want to do good at a national show. Like, if you want to continue to just be looking good and
right,
keep taking cool photos for Instagram, like let's do that.
yeah,
But it you're not gonna like you're fucking stupid if you think you can do this and that.
right. I have to believe you've had countless guys sign up with you. It's like, I want your progress. And you're like, and then at the same time, I'm like, well, I want to stay shredded year round. You're like, you want my progress, but that's not the way I did
Yeah,
it.
yeah. You want my progress? Like I think you want to realize what I haven't missed a meal in fucking 8 years.
Right. And there's been all seasons where, listen, I've pushed you to be big. You've never gotten like grossly fat by any means, but
Hmm.
I'm sure you would be like, if someone said, "Hey, Dave, like, let's take your shirt off and like take some photos," you'd be like, "Yeah, maybe not today."
Yeah,
You know, but I think that maybe it's because you and I hold ourselves to a high standard, and we know that like this is part of the process. I know I'm supposed to be here, but it didn't like pre-contest where if we were like, "Hey, strip down and take some shots," like, Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, more than okay,
Yeah.
actually.
You, you know where the good light is?
Yeah.
I'll share his last story. One of my guys who did Masters, yeah, USA's, I told him he went to the Dragon's Lair and I said, go into the back leg room in the corner to the front of the room, walk in the door, turn to your hard right, and take photos right there in that mirror. I know the light's really good. And he didn't do it. He's like, Christy, there was signs up that said no photos, or I can't remember what he said. Maybe it was you can't take your shirt off. And I'm like, well, Dave and I can't follow directions.
This is true.
I'm like, I didn't see a sign.
Yeah.
I was like, this is really good light. We're gonna pose right here. Yeah. So, anyways, guys, until next time, the takeaway, take home from this is write down all your inadequacies that you can get better and you want to level up on. Make that list and give that a lot more weight than what I can inject, shoot, swallow, because this list will propel your results forward
Yeah.
and keep you the healthiest. And
Yeah. Yeah. Take that full look on. These things are things I need to improve. What can I do to improve them without exogenous aids?
correct.
Because
Yes.
chances are you're not even scratching the surface on that.
No, no, I agree. And I'm going to encourage everyone to film their work sets and not watch them with emotion, like critically break them down.
Yeah.
Was that hard? Did my speed stop? Do I have more in the tank? Am I impressed? And I think you and I have both been to a place where we've filmed sets and like, man, that felt a lot harder than this looks. And you're like, I can get more. And then the next week you go in there with a mission. And you're like, okay, film the next week. And like, okay, does that look better? Meaning, does it look closer proximity to failure than it was last week? Did I have more in this week? Okay, cool, but I'm closer. So let's keep inching that direction. So review the game film, be critical. And until next time, Chris and Dave, we are done.